Coaches versus mentors, what they do, and do I need one? Coaches and mentors play a pivotal role in our lives, from the cradle to the grave. Whether you are a high school student, young professional, or executive leader, and whether you are an artist, an accountant, or an activist, you can use the advice and insights of a guide to improve your life, productivity, and self-confidence. Find out more about the role and goals of coaches and mentors. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. How you doing today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous. If you were to ask me, if you are doing as terrific as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. Today, I want to talk to you about coaches and mentors. And in popular discourse, we really have, sometimes people are confused about the definition of either or. And today, we want to set the record straight. Let me define a coach. What is a coach? According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, a coach is one who instructs players in the fundamentals of a sport and directs team strategy. In other words, a coach is someone who instructs or trains. This is the key. This is very important to understand. So a coach, whether in sports, in life, or at work, it's someone who is given instructions because he or she has experience in training and is also training the person. So a coach is generally not detached. So in other words, a coach is interested, is engaged, is committed, is devoted to the success of the coachee, of the person being coached. A coach is also there for a short-term period. A coach is generally not there for the long run. So this could be for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, depending upon the goal being pursued. Let's now define a mentor. A mentor is a trusted counselor or guide. This is someone who is detached. In other words, this is someone who is giving you feedback from afar, who is not maybe not in the same industry as you are or doing the same job, but is giving you unbiased feedback. I'm not saying that a coach will give you biased feedback, but if you got to look at the context here, a mentor is more detached, more laid back, more in the back, if you will. A mentor is disinterested. This is someone who generally is not there to follow you on a day-to-day basis. And again, the detachment and disinterest in the disinterest part here is kind of important when we talk about mentors. And mentors are there for the long run. They're not there only for 3 or 6 months. They're there for years. They're there for decades. When you have a good mentor, when you have a great mentor, he or she will be there for you for a long, long time. So let's now talk about the main differences between coaches and mentors. So for coaches, a coach is generally paid, while a mentor is generally not paid. So you have a you have a profit relationship when it comes to coaching, and you have a non-profit relationship when it comes to mentoring, if I can use that sort of a simplistic metaphor. A coach may be older or younger, so you can have a young coach or older young coach, doesn't matter. What the coach is bringing to you is a set of experiences, skills, and capabilities. A mentor, however, is generally older. So you're not going to be in your 20s, or you're not going to be a teenager and have a mentor who is the same age as you or even younger than you. Doesn't work that way. A coach has technical skills, whereas a mentor may have technical or soft skills. Coaches also have soft skills, though. Don't get me wrong. What I'm trying to say is that if you hire a coach, say, to help you in communication skills or for a particular opportunity, the coach will bring on board skills required for that particular opportunity or for that particular project. Whereas for a mentor, it might be different. A coach is not detached. So a coach is involved. A coach will be there with you on a daily basis, or even on an hourly basis, or even, it really depends upon the project. Whereas a mentor is generally detached. You also have, with the coach, you have to meet regularly. So you have regular sessions with your coach because you have to, again, this is a short-term initiative. So it is important to have updates, regular updates to really know what's working and what's not. Whereas the approach is a little different with the mentor. You don't have to meet him or her regularly. You can meet him or her every month or every quarter or every 6 months. It really depends upon the relationship and also depends upon the needs of the mentee and the availability of the mentor. A coach has fiduciary duties. In other words, a coach, by law, once you pay him or her, you have established de facto or de jure a contract. And he or she is bound to deliver, to perform, to satisfy the requirement of that contract. Whereas a mentor doesn't have fiduciary duties. And the last thing here, I think I've already mentioned that a coach is there for the short term, whereas a mentor is there for the long run. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're still having a conversation here around coaches and mentors. Now, let's talk about where you can find, where you can use coaches and mentors, where you can use the expertise and capabilities of coaches and mentors. Coaches and mentors are available for all of us at every stage of our life. As I said earlier, from the cradle to the grave. So you can use a coach at work. You might need the capabilities and skills of a coach at work. In a business, it's very important, especially for startups. It's important to have a mentor or an advisor, really depending upon the industry, but you want to have people who are well connected, who can actually open their Rolodex of contacts and really help you move on to the next level. Even if you have an established business, you can still use a coach to get to the next level. You can use the services and advice and tips and tricks of a coach or mentor in life. You even have life coaches. So there are people who sometimes they are trained, they're certified, they have experience, they have life experience, they have technical as well as soft skills and are able to monitor people, able to help people on their life journey, help people cope with the vicissitudes of life. You might need the services of a coach when it comes to relationships. If you want to improve your current relationship or you want to find the man or woman of your life, a coach might be a good person to reach out to. A coach or mentor really might be a good person to reach out to depending upon your objective. Some people also need spiritual coaches or religious coaches. So if you want to explore the spiritual aspects of your persona, of your life, you want to look at things a little differently, you can reach out to a spiritual coach. And community leaders and faith leaders have been very pivotal in the last few decades in terms of mentoring and coaching people at the local level. And this is something that has worked fantastically, not just in good moments, in good times, but also in bad times when people are coping with things as diverse as trauma, as depression, as burnout, that kind of stuff. So coaches are needed and they are very helpful during those moments. The question here is that, do you have to pay for coaches? So let's talk about that. Should we pay for coaches, or do we just look for unpaid coaches? Now, I'm not even talking about paid mentor, because as I said earlier, there is no monetary implication when you're talking about, there's no monetary relationship when you talk about a mentor. So mentorship excludes de facto the aspect of monetary exchange. Now let's talk about coaching. Is it good or bad to pay for a coach, to hire a paid coach? Now, it really depends on your objective. Generally, I subscribe to the mantra that there is no free lunch in this world. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that somebody who's doing coaching for free is doing a bad job. I'm just saying that I'm looking at things personally. I'm looking at things practically. And I'm saying if you really want to get something out of a relationship, you need to commit something. There has to be a give in or take out. You can't just expect someone to devote his or her time for you over a long period of time or over a short period of time for nothing, unless the person himself or herself has expressed the interest in your project, in your life, at a philanthropic level. In other words, they are okay with coaching you for free. Otherwise, I would strongly advise you to consider paying a coach, because time is money, and advice, good advice, costs money. That's just the way it is. And when thinking about hiring a coach, you got to look at three things. There are three criteria you want to pay attention to when trying to hire a coach. You want to look for experience, you want to look for dedication, and you want to look for availability. Please, those three are important. Experience encompasses education, formal education, certification, if the coach has some kind of certification, and also professional experience, professional capabilities. What kind of skill set, what kind of competencies is the coach bringing to the table? How can he or she add value to your life or to your project or to your whatever you need the coach for? That's for experience. Now let's talk about dedication. Dedication means that the coach wants you to succeed, really has your best success at heart. I was talking earlier about fiduciary duties. Fiduciary duties is something you actually find in the context of financial planning and in the legal world, where a lawyer or a financial advisor has fiduciary duties vis-a-vis a client. In other words, he or she has to do everything to make sure the client's interests are put forward. The same applies for coaches. So you want to make sure that the coach is dedicated to your success, wants you to succeed, is really interested. The coach is not just after your money. As soon as you're paying the bill, you're just another client of hers or his. No, you want the coach to be there for you, which leads me to the third element: availability. The last thing you want is start chasing a coach. No, either he or she has time for you or doesn't. So once the contract has been signed and he or she is on board, he or she has to be responsive. Don't chase a coach. It's just kind of crazy. So sometimes when I see friends and family chasing coaches, and you call the coach and he or she's not answering his or her phone, and you have to constantly sit around and wait for the person to call you back. No, a coach must be available to you once you have agreed to the job you have agreed on the job to be done, and you have agreed on the payment plan, and you have made the first payment, or as long as you are current on the payment plan, he or she has to give you his or her time. This is very important. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're all still having a conversation here around coaches and mentors. If you love the clarity and quality of the content so far, please consider subscribing to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you are informed in real time whenever we release a new show. And we release this kind of shows every single day, rain or shine. And please comment below, share, and also like this content. I want to talk to you now about other names in the popular discourse. We've heard other names for coaches and mentors. So I want to bring those that phraseology, if you will, those concepts into the discussion here. So when you hear names like, you hear words like gurus, masters, advisors, and shifu. Now, one thing for me that's kind of important is that a guru is a different type of coach, if you will. Guru usually is taking care of, if you will, of a flock of you hear these words more in the spiritual or the religious realm. So a guru is in charge of a group of people. So you can say that he or she is a mentor or a coach to a group of people. Sometimes you hear the words master. So again, we have some kind of a religious or spiritual connotation. You also have them, especially in some religions in Asia and Africa and Latin America. You have, you have the concept of religious masters. Again, they also have I would say their roles mimic a bit of the roles that you see coaches and mentors taking in the West. It is kind of important that also those masters and gurus also have, and also Shifu. You hear this. This is a Chinese word that stands for a master, and Shifu is written SIFU. And the thing here is that whether you're talking about a master, a guru, or a Shifu, those individuals have the ability to guide you, have the ability to advise you, ability to monitor you, to train you. You also, when it comes to coaches, you also hear coaches and mentors, you also hear the word advisor. Now, advisor is a little different. You can have a financial advisor. You can have a startup advisor. Advisors are a little different because advisor can be paid or non-paid, but generally there is always the connotation of payment, the connotation of profit. In other words, even if you have a startup advisor, usually they are compensated some way. They may not be getting cash at the end of the month, but they might be getting some kind of equity in the company or some kind of options and so on and so forth. So advisor is kind of close to a coach. The only thing is an advisor is not as engaged or dedicated to a particular job, unless we're talking about you have a financial advisor or you have a startup advisor. And it all depends on the personality. I don't want to generalize here. It's not about generalizing. It's more about looking at the traditional concept, the traditional understanding of the word. So we've talked about gurus, masters, advisors, and I've talked about paying for coaches and all these things. Now, where do you find great coaches and mentors? There are several ways to find great coaches and mentors. You can go on the internet. So you can go online, you can search, you can use your favorite search engine and look for a coach or mentors in your area, in your industry, in your you want a coach or mentor based on your need. Nobody just stands up and start looking for a coach that if they don't have a clear idea of why they need a coach. So you got to have an idea of why you need a coach in the first place. So once you can go on the internet and look for a coach, you can also look at within your professional network. It can be your professional network or your academic network. If you're still in school, if you are a teenager, you're still in school, look around you. So if you're a worker, look at your professional network. Look in your LinkedIn profile. Ask around. Ask people around. You can also find a coach, a great coach or mentor by doing charitable work. So you can volunteer. Actually, the philanthropic realm is a great trove of wonderful people who are great coaches and mentors. So look around. If you have an NGO, a charity, a philanthropy in your area, see how you can get involved. And this is a great opportunity also to meet new people. Think about it, right? You can also look around in your entourage. I'm talking here about family members, friends, and colleagues. Sometimes, people are thinking about, I need a coach. Okay. I need a coach. Okay, that's pretty good. But you can find a coach in your family. Uncle Joe or Aunt May could be your coaches. They could be your mentors. You have expertise within the family. So sometimes it is important to look within the family before expanding the search. Also, word of mouth. Ask around. If you can ask around online or offline. Again, if you're on Facebook or on other social media, ask around. You want to join groups. You have groups on Facebook that cater to nearly every imaginable topic. So you want to ask around. You want to join the right groups. You can go on the internet and register on reputable forums. You can even contact your state authorities. Every state has a department that caters to the youth, that caters to business owners and entrepreneurs. So it's up to you really to narrow down the needs and narrow down the niche where those needs are being fulfilled at the moment. one thing for sure, the help is available out there. I'll be available. I'll be right back, rather, right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Q, where we're also having a conversation here around coaches versus mentors. And actually, I don't like the title. It says coaches versus mentors. We're not really we're not opposing them. It's more an explanation. We put the contradiction in the title because most people believe that a coach is the same thing as a mentor and vice versa. So we're trying to really set the record straight. And I'm just talking to you about what they do and why and whether you need one. If you love the clarity and quality of the content so far, please consider subscribing to our channel, and we'll be very happy to have you around at every show. How to become a coach or mentor? Now, before I even talk about that, do you need a coach? It really depends on you. It depends on your needs. It depends on your goals. It depends on your personal situation. If you are going for a coach, and that coach will need to be paid, you need to think about your financial situation. Can you afford hiring a coach at the moment? And if you also want a mentor, why do you need a mentor? What do you need a mentor for? That kind of stuff. You got to ask those questions yourself. Now, how to become a coach or mentor? It might be great also. You will be very surprised that you could actually find a coach or mentor by becoming one. So by actually giving, karma works a fantastic way. By giving back to the community, by giving back to people, to other people, by giving back to younger people, you are actually also expanding your own karma account. You're also expanding your own good vibes, and that will come back to you. I really believe that. I have no scientific data or research to back it up, but I just know if you do good, good will come back to you. This is just the natural laws, if you will. So you can actually seek to become a coach or mentor to someone else, and you can do this in your profession. You can find a mentee or a coachee. I don't know if that word even exists, but you can actually help someone in your professional network. You can look around locally at the community charities. If you have a local charity, you can also look into local community groups. There are a lot of stuff happens locally that you can join, where you can share your expertise, where you can add value. And while doing that, you can actually find someone who will love to be your mentee, who will love to be your student or your coachee. So think about giving back. All right. Thank you so much, folks, for today's conversation. This was a short one. And a sweet one. This was a short one, and I just wanted to quickly go through the recap here. So I defined coaches and mentors to you. I explained the main difference, and I told you where you can find coaches and mentors, whether you should pay for coaches, and other names and roles for coaches and mentors, and where to find great coaches and mentors, and how to become a coach or mentor yourself. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.